Welcome back to our series on being responsible for our youth. In the last section, we talked about the importance of developing our internal resources because our ability to take advantage of the best that the world has to offer depends on how we prepare ourselves for it. Now, at the moment, I'm sitting on a rock, a small boulder, but it's a piece of rock. Now that makes me think, is there a difference between me and rock? If there is a difference, what is that difference? Well, of course, every kindergarten child will tell you that a rock is very hard. If you hit the rock, if you knock against the rock, you are hurt. The child will also tell you that a rock cannot respond to anyone. The rock is and it stays there. It doesn't matter whether it is day or night, doesn't matter if the person standing next to it is broken-hearted or bursting with laughter. It makes no difference to the stone. A stone is insensitive. The third thing that perhaps the kindergarten child will not tell you, and which perhaps you know and I know, and therefore let me mention, is that a stone has no inside. Now, this might surprise you. Well, after all, it's a big stone. Suppose you break it, you can reach inside. No, that's not possible. Suppose you hammer this stone, break it into 100 pieces. You don't reach the inside of a piece of stone. You only get 100 stones. A stone has no inside. You will remember that in the last unit I talked about the importance of our inner world. And now you will understand it all the more in light of the fact that if our inner world is not active and alive and rich, we will become more and more and more like pieces of rock. Now that is a very terrible tragedy. And very often we do not know this is happening to us. As a result of various adjustments and various experiences that we go through, slowly our sensitivities decline and our heart becomes a piece of stone. Now, this is not growth, this is death. A corpse cannot respond to the surroundings, it has no sensitivity, it has no feeling. So even while we are alive, and sadly even when we are young, we could reach or we could decline into that very sad and terrible state. Now this is something that should never happen to us. So it's important that we protect ourselves against those possibilities, experiences, and ways of life which turn us slowly into insensitive objects like stone. Now, for example, ask yourself, and I ask myself, how do I live in my house? I can live like a piece of stone, an important piece of stone maybe, a loved and cherished piece of stone maybe in my house. You can do the same in your house and have no responsibility, and nothing that happens in the house, no problem, no need in the house matters to you. You are only existing as an object in the house. Now, if you are doing that, I don't know if you are doing that, only you know. I hope you are not doing that. If you are doing that, tell me, how does this building have the touch of a home for you? Now, I'm saying something very serious. It's not enough that we have beautiful homes, beautiful houses. or impressive houses. That's a better way of putting it. It's not enough that we have big mansions, well designed, beautifully constructed, expensive, but looking very impressive. It means nothing. The question is, does our house also become a home for us? Now, a house is an inanimate object. It cannot do anything by itself. So it's wrong on my part to say, does a house become a home? No, no house can become a home by itself. But, and that's the beautiful thing, we can transform our houses into homes. That depends entirely on us. And I believe that one of the things that transforms a building into a home is our sensitivity. And what is sensitivity? Sensitivity is the flow of something beautiful and something human from within us to the world around us. Now, let me use a conventional expression and say, sensitivity is the light that we emit and illumines the world around us. And this is something that all of us are capable of doing. But this is not the case. I have been heading an institution. I've been a teacher among young people for 42 years. I lived among them. And one thing that I've heard repeatedly from parents, in the north, probably this applies to the south as well, but my experiences in Kerala are limited. I've recently returned to Kerala after 45 years of stay in Delhi. But this is a universal problem. I have seen it in other countries. Many, many countries that I have repeatedly visited. I've stayed in homes, so I know what I'm talking about. Young people tend to live in their homes like pieces of stone. They're not bothered about what happens. They're not sensitive to the dreams and aspirations of their parents. They're not even sensitive to the aches and pains of their parents. I've had innumerable parents come to me repeatedly and say, "Sir, please talk to our son, please talk to our daughter." And I will tell them, "Your parents, why don't you talk to them?" They would say, "No, they will not listen to us. We can't even have a conversation with our children." And I used to be amazed. How is it possible for a human being to reach that stage of utter insensitivity to one's own parents? Now, the same thing applies to studies. Now, a good student is a student who is sensitive to themes, ideas, insights. Sensitivity is an important attribute, an important strength in a student. I would say the beauty of a student is sensitivity. Now, the other way of looking at it is, sensitivity expresses itself as keenness. If you're sensitive, you're keen to know if you can do something in the house to improve the happiness in the house. If you're a keen student, if you're a sensitive student, you're keen to know something more about what you have learned today. So this is a great strength. And if you have this strength when you are young, and it's a strength that is already there, but it needs to be cultivated. It has to be defended against all kinds of deadening influence around us. There are many people who think that it's an advantage, it's an achievement to be stone-like. I'm not affected by anything in the world. Pardon me, that's not an achievement. It's a very terrible, disappointing state. If you're not affected by anything in the world, what does the world mean to you? So it's very important for us to realize that our sensitivity needs to be developed. Our sensitivity needs to be celebrated, because that's who we are, and that's the beauty of our being. And that's the quality that influences the way people experience us. And also, that is a way that determines what we do, how well we do it, how long we do it, and how much we learn from any given situation. So my friends, today I want to close by making an ardent plea, a very humble request. Remain sensitive. Respond to human needs. Respond to whatever is good and beautiful around you. When I look at the nature around me, my heart dances with delight. And I cannot help thanking God for the beauty of the world in which I'm able to live. And if that gift is there, life is beautiful, life is a feast, life is a banquet, life is a celebration. And may that excitement, may the light, the radiance of that excitement be always present on your face and your person. And then people will experience you very differently. And this is all the more beautiful, and it will be all the more valued today, because this is not the trend in our times. People are moving around like continents of darkness. People find it difficult to smile, as though their face is made of stone. No, we are not stone. We are very flexible, we are resilient. Every muscle can twitch, every cell can dance. And every experience means a lot to us. Every human being means a lot to us. Let us now bring the richness of our being into everything that we do, in every context. And let's make a difference for the better, wherever we are. Isn't that a great thing to do? Let's try. Thank you. See you next time.